Great. Mr. Obi, critics have accused you of not building schools during your tenure as governor of Anambra State. Can you elaborate on the initiatives that you implemented to improve the educational systems in Anambra during your tenure? And why do you think there's this misconception that's obviously being floated around?
I actually built a lot of, they said building schools. I don't know whether building schools or building infrastructures in school. I don't know what they actually want. If you look at what I've done, I've actually built a lot of schools. But I don't need to answer that. If they read my manifesto, before I became governor, Anambra State was very low in education. In fact, schools were closed for 2 years. People did not go to school. We were low in rating. And while I was there, when I came, if you read my manifesto, what I told you now was areas where I said I'm going to deal with. And we moved from 20-something in number to number 1. Go and get, even today, go and get even cutoff point. Anambra is the highest. But number 1 to today. You know, maybe
what were the specific what reforms that you implemented to achieve that you think that can...
I don't know. I wish any of you are from Anambra State. I wish you are. So you call your town and I'll tell you what I did in your town in education. All the schools, we have about 500 secondary schools. Let me start with secondary schools.
Okay.
All the 500 secondary schools had what I can call, we computerized. We had buses. We had support in terms of teachers. We had generators to make sure they have lights. Those who needed boreholes, we give them boreholes. There's nothing, I don't know how I will start to tell you. I visited all of them at least twice, physically. Look at the infrastructures. Look at what is happening with them. Ensure that they have things that is required for learning. And that's, I can go on and on. No school, as at the time, maybe it's happening now, no state, I can say categorically in Nigeria, where you were able to equip the schools the way we did.
Please, before we continue, do me a favor by clicking on your subscribe button. Just the only way to encourage and support us.
No state. No state will you say the schools had brand new buses too. No school will you say all the secondary schools had generator. No place, when we bought our computers, desktop, everything from HP, which is still there, as at the time, they said no government in Africa have bought this quantity from them. In fact, the vice president for Africa and Middle East came the day we launched it they will give it away to schools. So there's a lot of improvement. We put internet in all the secondary schools. So it can go on and on. At university, I built a university college campus in a place called Ibariam from the scratch, cutting the forest. I built a teaching hospital from the fastest teaching hospital ever built in Nigeria was built under my tenure in 2 years from the scratch. It's today in Oka. You can go there. These are things you can see. They're physical. They're not promised and everything. When I started, we didn't have a state library. I built one. It's there in Oka. You can go and see it. And I can go on and on in areas where in health was the same thing. We didn't have one single school of nursing, midwifery, or school of health technology that was accredited.
Please, before we continue, do me a favor by clicking on your subscribe button. Just the only way to encourage and support us.
Today, we have over a dozen. They were all supported, accredited while I'm there. So you can go and, these are things that are, I'm telling you the things that are verifiable. You can go and see it. So when somebody comes and says, oh, you didn't build a secondary school. Why do you have to build a secondary school when there's secondary school all over the place that we are in bad shape and depleted, and I go and build a new one? That is the problem of Africa. That is the problem because there's corruption. Because people want to start their own. If you want, there's so many existing ones. Anambra is not a place where you go and say, oh, there's no secondary school. There are secondary schools all over the place. But they were in bad shape. Their structures, everything have collapsed. Things were not working. It's nothing. So I needed to rebuild them. And I rebuilt them. And if you go there, you see buildings that were all built. If you collect them together, I would have killed about hundreds of secondary schools. But I didn't need to. It's a state I know every community. I visited every community. I didn't say I visited every. I visited every single community in Anambra State as governor at least twice while I was there. So I know what every community needed, and I provided it. They have secondary schools. Visited the secondary school, saw it, saw what they were there, and tried to do something. So I don't need to build a new one. Fantastic. Even at that, there's some new ones that were set up while I was there, and I supported it, and I can show, and I can say, we did this in education, and to prove it, we became number one. If you go to the secondary schools today, they still tell you, Mr. Obi did this, Mr. Obi did this, and since I left over 10 years ago, it is still the same generator that I gave them that they have. It's still the same vehicles that I gave them. It's still the same. So what else will I do?
P2B has already answered the most, avoidable question that many governments fail to answer, and especially what I mean by many governments, those past governments, yes, like Rotimi Amechi, Atiku, we talk about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, all these past governors, most of them have failed to answer such question by giving a well proper accountability of what they did when they were in government. Not that we see. No, give us a pure breakdown of what you really did when you are in government, and of which P2B has come out, to clarify his own part, to make you to understand, how he built schools, build education system in Anambra to become number one, which is visible to everybody. But it's quite unfortunate that most times we don't give people flowers they deserve. P2B is the man for the job, and he did absolutely fine when he was in government. And that's why we are still calling upon good Nigerians all over the world. Please, it's going to be a very mistake, and it's going to be quite unfortunate that if we miss this man 2027, because Nigeria is going to be a pit of hell, not just common hell, just the deep down of it, because what we are going to experience is going to be difficult for us to come out from. So it's better that if you are having issues with your PVC, try to make up with your PVC, so that 2027 you will still have a fair hearing by voting for the man you want. I'm not going to tell you that you should vote for P2B. We all are living in Nigeria, and we all have families that are also living in Nigeria. So you choose what is best for you and what is best for your family. Share your own opinion in the comment section, and don't forget to share this video to all your social media platforms. Do us a favor by clicking on your subscribe button if this is your first time coming across our channel.